Here's the 3 steps I took to stop offering both hair and makeup services and only offering bridal hair, and why I think it's the fastest way to actually scale your bridal business to multiple 6 figures. Hey, I'm Marissa Grace. I built my bridal hair business to multiple 6 figures in 3 years, earning $500,000 without building a massive team, and I want to help you do the same. The first step is coming to the realization. Now, you're like, Marissa, duh, that sounds easy. And if you're here, you're likely already thinking about it. You're likely already thinking, I want to stop doing both. I hear some people that do both, but maybe that's just not for me, or you believe it's the only way to success. So step number 1 is coming to the realization. When I came to the realization that I no longer wanted to offer both hair and makeup services was actually when we were coming back from the pandemic. So when the pandemic happened, I wasn't doing any services for months at a time. So when I actually started getting back into it was when I came to that realization of, oh, this just isn't what I want to do. I don't want to do both services. I had the thought and I was trying to put things into place when I was going back to work after not working for 5 months during the pandemic. But when I was actually in the thick of it, after not being in the thick of it for such a long time, it really hit me that, wow, this is really overwhelming doing 2 services at once. Now, I was offering it because everyone in my area was doing it. Everyone in my area had a team that either they did bridal hair, they did bridal makeup, themselves were doing both services. So I felt I am the odd man out. I am the one who is not going to be successful because everyone else is taking this path. Why would I go in the opposite direction if everyone in my area is doing both? I felt like if I'm not offering both, people aren't going to want to book with me. Brides aren't going to want to hire me because I don't offer both services. What this led to was I followed their footprint and I thought that that was the way to success. When in reality, when I was actually doing those services, I wasn't passionate about makeup. Was I good at it? Can I do makeup? Sure. Yet I wasn't lit up inside about doing someone's makeup for their wedding day. And here's the realization of the realities of doing both hair and makeup that I had versus the dream that I sold myself every single day. What you think doing both hair and makeup leads to is more money. What it actually leads to is bigger bridal parties. You needing to hire more team members, less money coming in because you're actually paying out all of these team members and now you have more expenses, which then will lead to more scheduling for you because you have all of these new team members and they're working weddings without you, or you're bringing them on for those massive bridal parties that you're working. Say you're getting requests for bride plus 10. Well, that's 20 services, 10 makeup, 10 hair. How are you accommodating all of those services? You're going to need to start bringing in a team. And when you start bringing in that team, you need to schedule their services. You need to schedule somebody else. You need to bring in another person. You're being the middleman going back and forth and making sure, is this person available? Is that person available? Is this person available? What that leads to is things inside of your business are going to break if you don't have systems in place. So then you're going to need more systems to handle managing more bookings, to handle managing more team members that you're bringing on and scheduling. It also leads to you bringing more bags. Now, I tell you, when I say that, I know you're probably like, oh, that's no big deal. I can bring, no, you're bringing so many bags to and from. And when you're doing it day after day after day after day, when you're working trials, then you're doing 2 weddings on the weekend, and then you're doing it again and again and again. It is a lot. Unpacking one kit is a lot. Now you're doubling that. Keeping up with the hair supplies as well as the makeup supplies. Both are very expensive, especially makeup. I feel like makeup is way more expensive than keeping up with your hair kit. That's double the expenses for you because you have to refill and restock constantly when you're working weddings. The reality also is you're going to have longer appointment times. And when you have longer appointment times, that is more stress on your body and less clients that you can work with in one day. So if you're an hour and a half for hair and makeup, or like me, I really thought I was so great. I used to do the salon timing and I used to think it was such a flex that I could do both hair and makeup in 60 minutes. When in reality, this is what the hair and makeup looked like in 60 minutes versus when it takes me 60 minutes just to do one hairstyle. The difference being giving yourself more time. How do you think your hairstyle or your makeup look will come out? But also when you're giving yourself more time, you're not able to accommodate more clients. Again, meaning you need to hire more team members, more assistants to bring on to help with larger bridal parties. The other harsh realities of doing both bridal hair and makeup is switching between my hair brain and my makeup brain sounds really easy in hindsight, but when you're actually in the doing it again and again and again, it is really hard to be like, let me stop myself, let me prepare myself. This is what I need to do to prep skin, and you're like constantly switching back and forth. Our brains are not meant to multitask, and what I feel like that is you're multitasking. And then the last one that took me so long to realize is it is so much harder to show up on Instagram, to show up in your marketing and your advertising when you're doing both hair and makeup. I would feel absolutely paralyzed as to what to post, how to talk about my services, because I was constantly thinking to myself, should I post hair today? Should I post makeup today? Looking at my feed, did I post enough hairstyling? Do I post more makeup? There's no balance when you're offering both. It's very hard to talk about two services at one time within your marketing, which means your messaging gets confusing and people don't really understand what you offer, and confusion doesn't lead to more bridal bookings, it leads to less. And when you're thinking about the greats, when you're thinking about the best hairstylists, the celebrity makeup artists, like Makeup by Mario, he does not do hair. Chris Appleton, he does not do makeup. Maybe they did when they started out. I don't know that piece of their story, but look at them now. And I don't know any celebrity who has just a hair and makeup person. They have a hairstylist and they have a makeup artist. They have people who specialize in each service. And to really hit this home so that you can come to the realization that just because everybody in your area might be offering bridal hair and makeup does not mean that you should too. I want you to feel empowered and be a leader in your space, because to really hit this home, I talk to a lot of bridal hairstylists and makeup artists who are doing both, who have large teams of 20 plus, and they're taking home $30,000 themselves as profit after running and managing these businesses and these teams. And when you're running and managing a large team, it takes a lot from you, and it's less that you can put into your artistry. You think by doing the same thing just because everyone else is, you don't really know what their profit is in their own business. And another thing that hit this home for me is something that Alex Hormozi said. I love Alex Hormozi. In one of his books, $100 Million Offers, ask yourself, if you have a heart attack, who do you want to take care of you? Do you want somebody who is a general practitioner who knows a little bit about everything in medicine, who's like, I might know something about you having a heart attack? Or do you want to have surgery by one of the top heart surgeons who's done hundreds, if not thousands, of surgeries for patients with heart attacks? When you think of it like that, when you zoom out the lens and you're actually able to see, this is how my bride's mind is working. They want to work with a special, yet you still think that your bride wants both. What your bride wants is convenience. She wants somebody who specializes in it. That doesn't mean that you need to offer both just for convenience. The second step to stop offering both hair and makeup services that I had to realize is you have to actually make the decision to do one. I know it's a wild concept. I know you're really rewriting the narrative for me here. But hear me out. It sounds super easy, and it is once you actually stick to it. That is the problem. You have to actually make the decision, follow through with it, and stick to it. And that is hard, because you're juggling both worlds and you're like, oh my God, I have clients, I have brides that are booked for both services. Now I'm gonna have to tell them no. Now I'm gonna have to let all my brides know, hey, if you see anything in my new marketing, I'm only doing one service, but I'm doing it for you. You have to say no to brides that are coming in and asking for both hair and makeup. You have to decide, which one do I want to get up? And it's a lot of little decisions that you need to make that are hard decisions. And once you make them, everything else will be so much easier. And I honestly feel like overwhelm does come from a lot of little decisions that you're not making. It's gonna be some hard conversations with yourself, with some of your clients, because you're gonna have to say no to them, and that's okay. Now, when you're deciding on which one, you're like, I do love both. This was me. This was literally me when I was deciding, like, do I wanna do hair? Do I wanna do makeup? But I love the whole look. I love the whole look coming together. I love doing the hair and doing the makeup. But that doesn't mean I need to be responsible for that whole look. Ooh, perspective shift. I don't need to be responsible for that whole look. You can be responsible for a piece of it. Do I love when the hair and the makeup come together and it's beautiful and it's perfect? Yes, because that's the finished look, but I don't need to be responsible for both of those things happening. Because what I realized when I stopped, and now that I'm in it and I only do hair services, I love when the hair and makeup look comes together that much more when my friend Carly does the makeup, or my friend Devin does the makeup, or my friend Rachel, or my friend BRIDAL. When you look at the hair and makeup when it comes together, when they do it, where I'm just doing the hair and they're doing the makeup, it's like the icing on the cake. It's just so much better than I ever could have did myself. Coming to the realization of like, you don't need to be responsible. It will still come together and you'll still love it just as much, but you have to release the control that you need to do it. Now, when it comes to deciding and making that decision, am I doing hair? Am I doing makeup? Which one am I going all in on? For me, it was a little easier because I come from a hair background. I always loved hair. Ever since I was a wee little rissy baby, I just loved hair. I loved putting butterfly clips in my hair. I loved doing all the braids in my hair. I loved showing up to school and doing my hair. The second I got out of Catholic school, I colored my hair all crazy colors. I just love hair. I always knew I loved hair. Did I love makeup? But it wasn't like the first love of mine. So if you have a first love, that's going to be really easy. But if you're still really torn, I want you to ask yourself, if I'm making $1 million a year, which service do I want to be doing? If I'm making $1 million a year, do I still want to be doing what I'm doing right now? For me, the answer was no. If I'm making $1 million a year, do I still want to be offering makeup? The answer is no. You can pay me $1 million a year. I don't want to do makeup. I just want to do your hair. Another thing you can ask yourself is, what's the thing that clients are really asking from you? What's the thing that people always compliment you on? Because for me, again, it was always hair. People weren't like, oh my God, your makeup's so good. People were always complimenting my hairstyles versus my makeup looks. There's likely a service that you're stronger in, but you just don't want to come to the realization of it yet. What are other people pointing out? What are other people complimenting you on? I'm telling you, one is going to stick out more than the rest. Now you've come to the decision, you've decided, okay, I'm going all in on hair, or you're going all in on makeup. Here's the second part of that decision that I need you to make. Once I made the decision to stop offering more, I decided to get better. And when you decide to get better is when you actually will see true progress and true success for your business. Because I didn't want to offer more services anymore. I didn't want to keep trading my time for dollars. Instead, I wanted to get better at one service, and that service was hair. And you might be so stuck on wanting to offer, I just saw a butterfly. It was so pretty. You might be so stuck on wanting to offer more, but when in reality, you need to just get better at what you're doing. So once I decided one service, I said, I want to get better at that one service. So I signed up for all the online hair education I could because I wanted to get better. Then I brought in all the models I could to do content days every single month. And then I made sure to get better every single week. I was practicing with my mannequin at home to get better. Instead of just focusing on more, I was on getting better at my hair skill, which again is a lot less expensive when you're only offering one service. So when I was offering two services, doing education, it was double. I was doing makeup education, I was doing hair education, and I felt like nothing was ever really sinking in. I felt like I was never able to be like an expert at one of them because I was juggling both. I was juggling two sides of my brain, my makeup brain and my hair brain, and they were clashing. They weren't working together. It was like I was hard to get better at makeup, but then I would slack on getting better at my hair, and then I was trying to get better at my hair and I would slack on getting better at my makeup, and it was like very hard to try to be an expert and try to have a signature with both of them coming together. Now the third step to stop doing both services and go down to one service is making it known. So what do I mean by this? You need to, once you make the decision, once you came to the realization, now you need to make it known. So what you need to do is essentially in your mind, know that you are rebranding. You're where you're at right now, and we're rebranding to like the 2.0 version of you. And that 2.0 version of you, she, number one, cannot wait to meet you. And she's so excited for this new journey. And she knows you have it in you. She knows that you need to rebrand. So you need to update your visuals. You need to audit your Instagram. You need to remove everything that was this old business, because what I need you to realize is making it known is a big piece, because everything you've done in your business today, every action that you've taken, every piece of marketing you've put out, everything that you've put on your Instagram, everything that everyone knows about you is your old business. So now you need to rebrand to your new business, because what you post, you attract. Every client you have in your chair right now, you've attracted them to you. The clients you're attracting right now is a result of every single action that you're taking, whether you're taking an action or you're not doing anything. Every client that's sitting in your chair is a result of that. So now we're rebranding and it's exciting. I don't want you feeling nervous or scared. It's so exciting to do a rebrand. Like if I could, I would probably rebrand every single year. I just love a fresh, elevated, leveled up look, you know? So instead, like, oh my God, I'm still getting inquiries for bridal hair and makeup. You're gonna see that for a couple months. You have to rebrand. So what a rebrand can look like, it doesn't have to be like this massive thing where you're doing like $1,000 shoot and all of this. All you need to do is you need to match the visuals with your new services that you're offering. So if you're now offering just makeup services, remove anything on your Instagram, on your website, anything that is giving both hair and makeup, and make sure that it's all just makeup now. Now what's gonna happen, because what happened with me was I realized like, oh my God, I need everything on my Instagram, I need all new content. You're gonna wanna have models in and do content days. What a content day is you get a studio, you bring them into your home studio, wherever you do trials at, bring a model in, and you're gonna do like 3 to 5 different looks on one single model. So that way you can update your Instagram, your website, all of your brand visuals that are talking about your services, that are the visual of like what you offer. You're like, a content day, what the heck is that? I have a content day that will give you 30 pieces of content in 3 hours with multiple different looks that you can do on one model. It's a full masterclass that's in Bridal Hair Society. I'll leave it linked down below for you, but I walk you through step by step with a whole blueprint and everything. But that's exactly what I focused on when I started rebranding, because you need the visuals to match. Because what's gonna happen, again, everything you've done right now brought in the clients that you have right now. So to speed this process up, you're gonna wanna speed up your rebranding, speed up getting your visuals out there. Because what the journey is gonna look like is you've stopped hair and makeup, you're doing one singular service, now you're doing the rebrand. Those first 3 months is gonna be a rebrand. It's gonna be the remarketing. So if you want to speed up next 12 months of truly now everyone knowing that you're only one service versus 2 services, you need to get the awareness out even more, and marketing is your awareness. So the more you post on Instagram, the more you get your visuals out there, the more you're telling people, no, I don't offer both hair and makeup services anymore. I'm only offering this one. The faster you're gonna see the turnaround. Now, I will tell you, it does take some time. Like I said in the beginning, you need to be able to stick it out. And you're gonna be getting a lot of brides in the beginning who are still asking for both services because that's what you were offering before. So this is where you need to come in and have that discipline of saying no. And here's what you can do is you can say, instead of no, I don't offer that anymore, sorry, bye, what you can say is, hey, I'm no longer offering both hair and makeup, but I'm actually offering just makeup services. If you're interested in that, let me know, give me the green light, and I'll send you over my packages for it. It's not a no, it's a redirect to what you're doing now. Now, after being someone who's offered both services, hair and makeup, here's what I learned in that transition period that I wish I knew back then that I think will really help you out. You can always add it on later. You can always add it on later. You're going down to once you started out with 2 services, now you're going down to 1. And if you're like really like back up against the wall, upset about it, unsure, like you really know you want to make the decision, you can always add it on later. Now, when I say later, I don't mean 3 months. I don't mean 6 months, 12. Give it a full 12 months. I'm telling you, please, I beg you, if there's one thing you walk away, please give it 12 months. Everything takes time. Again, if you want to speed up that journey, post on your Instagram every single day about that one service. Have models in twice a month, you know? Really get out there about you only doing the one service, because it's gonna take time to get your footprint in your rebrand. You're rebranding right now. When I was going through it, yeah, there was a lot of times where I was saying no more than I was saying yes, because all the inquiries that were coming in was hair and makeup. So this is where you need to put on your long-term thinking hat versus the short-term where you're just looking for a quick cash fix. Because that's when I would have said yes. However, I don't want you to do that. Instead, seriously think about the long term of where you want to be a year from now, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. It took me, once I started only doing just bridal hair, in the next 12 months, I made $156,000 in my business. What if I told you, give me 12 months of you making that decision, you going down to one service to make $100,000? Will you give me those 12 months of sticking it out? Will you stick it out with me? You're really, really short on cash, really want to see more money coming in the door, and you're saying no, and you really are sticking it out. What I've told myself back then is take more trials, do more trials. Anyone coming in, instead of like pushing them booking right away, what I would do is push them to do a trial right away. And this is a different mindset shift that I wish I had back then, but I didn't because I was stubborn. And I was like, no, I don't want to do trials before booking. I did that before. I'm too good. No, I should have done trials before booking for a long time, because what it's going to do is it's going to bring you in money in the door, and you're going to have more conversations during your consult with clients to figure out what their true problems are, what the transformations are that you're doing. You're going to be able to have more content because you're working on more clients. And there's a whole lot of benefits to you doing a trial before booking that I think would benefit you in this phase right now. So if somebody's inquiring, I would say, hey, what's your availability the next couple days? I have this day available. Come in for a trial. We'll see how it goes. And then when they come in for the trial, that's when you hand over the contract. That's when you do the booking, when they're in person. Let me know which service you're thinking of giving up in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.